Hi guys, I wanted to do a quick video on this beautiful Alexa Turnlock clutch. And I got my paper here to make sure I don't forget anything important. And I recently made this purchase and I'm absolutely in love with it. I've seen this crocodile embossed leather at Coach and different variations and different styles, and I absolutely have wanted a piece like this for a while, but I just never found the right bag in this combination. So drop my paper. All right, here we go. So this is the Alexa Turnlock clutch. It is the crocodile embossed leather. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's got the Turnlock seat closure in the brass hardware with the brass chain, and it's got an outside big old pocket and an inside slip pocket. The style number is 39252. I'll try to remember to put that information in the description below. Okay, and it's 10.5 long by 6.5 high. So let me get that tape measure. So let's verify that, because sometimes on the website they will have a different measurement versus in real life. Okay, so let's see. End to end. Well, looks like they're correct on that measurement. And from the top to the bottom, yep, they are correct. All right, and it's probably about 2 inches wide. So this thing is so absolutely perfect for every day, for evening, for just perfect. Okay, so this is the front. This is the bottom, and that crocodile embossing is just so beautiful. And they have this in a smooth leather, which I was trying to avoid because I already have a Parker. And you know, the Parker, the glove tan leather, I love it, but it's high maintenance. It scratches easily. But, and this is the back, and this is the big old pocket. Like, it's as the length of the bag and the bottom, all the way to the bottom. All right, and there we go. And this is that fabric microfiber lining that the Parkers also have. And I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison with the Turnlock closure and show you that it's very, very, it's exact. Oh, can I get it in there? It's the exact size of the Parkers, which is, I absolutely love that Turnlock closure. The only thing I wish they would have done with this chain, but it probably would have made it heavier, is the woven leather that the Parkers have. I wish this had woven leather, but then again, I do love that it's the heavy brass chain. I love that. The Parkers, the chain is hollowed out, so it feels a little way lighter. You know, almost plasticky type. It doesn't make that sound. I love that chain sound for whatever reason. So there was that. Okay. And so I have it pretty stuffed. Got my Coach sunglasses that my husband got me a few years back, which I absolutely love. So sweet. And I always have it in a soft pouch. That way it molds easily to my bag I'm currently having in. And then I have this Estee Lauder soft pouch, makeup pouch. Fits a ton. I've got a ton in here. I'm not going to go through that because it's going to take forever. And of course, a card holder, a Coach card holder. And then another card holder, Ralph Lauren. It fits about 8 cards on there, which is very functional and practical. And then of course my keys. And then in this back pocket, I have a 7 phone, but also my 10 fits back here. My 10 fits back here, and of course back here. So this is it empty, and of course it's so you can detach. Oh, let me show you that. Opened. You can detach this chain, and it's on there very, very, very well. It's on there very well, so it's not loose or anything. And this is how different ways I'm gonna go like this. You crisscross it across, and you can close it, and you have a shorter strap type shoulder bag, and I love that option. And then of course you can detach the chain all together. You can detach the chain all together, you know, and then of course you have your classic underarm clutch, you know, very chic, of course, any way you carry it. And then of course the long way crossbody. If you can see it, crossbody goes very beautifully. Falls. I'm about 5'4", and it falls right at my hip. And then of course long, all the way to longer shoulder drop, which is also beautiful. So I love having options, and this sweet thing has options. And that's the back again, and this leather's just so gorgeous. Okay, now I hope you guys loved my Parker. Now I wanted to add a sweet little testimony, if I could, about feeling the Lord's love for the first time in my life. So I guess I'll call it my I have a chair here in my closet. My closet is my I call it my hiding place, my secret place. It's not really secret, but it's my hiding place where I go to pray and etc. I'm trying to adjust my camera to where my face is not in view, because, you know. All right, so my testimony of feeling God's love for the first time in my life. So at the time I was in high school. I was a freshman, and you know how it goes. You're a teenager, it's just hard being a teenager in high school, you know. It's like, need I say more? But let's see. I'm adjusting this thing. It's not falling how I want it to fall. Let me put my Parker back. But I've always had a close relationship with as close as a relationship as, you know, a 16-year-old can have with her Heavenly Father. I've always felt Him in my heart. I've known Him, about Him. I've grown up in the Christian atmosphere. But before that day, I call it my feeling I physically felt. Before that day, I had never felt what I had felt. So I'll go into, so I remember I was around 16, I was in high school, and of course, you know, as a 16-year-old, you're just, you know, just going through a lot of insecurities and not feeling loved by, you know, just, I grew up in a different country, so coming over, that was also hard in itself. So I never felt like I belonged, you know, in the crowds, or I always felt like a loner. So, oh, I gotta hurry. This video is gonna be long if not. Okay, so I sat down one day, and every day I would, you know, meditate and pray as much as I could. And one day I sat down and I started praying about a friend of mine. And this friend of mine was going through a really tough time emotionally, and my heart was really broken for them. So I sat down and I didn't start praying for myself. I didn't, for the first time ever, you know, other than always praying for myself, praying for my future, you know, I started praying about my friend. And so I started praying, and I was like really praying for this person. So hard to explain. There was pure worry, just pure anguish for this person, for this friend, that, you know, I wanted the Lord to work in their life, you know, my heart was broken for them. And I was sitting there praying, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I think I was like maybe 2 minutes into the prayer. Out of nowhere, I'm going to try as best I can to explain this. It's so hard to explain God's love. It's just because you feel God's love, just like you and you know you love your children. You know you love your husband. You love it. It can't, you know what love is, but to actually physically feel love is something I had never felt, especially from the Lord, you know, the Almighty Creator. I mean, the Creator of the universe, the everything, to actually have that feeling of knowing that He loves you. I had never felt it before. I knew in my heart, but to actually physically. So I was sitting on my knees. I was praying. I had started praying. So I was 2 minutes into the prayer, and all of a sudden, His presence just came down like I'm sorry, I'm trying to explain this as best I can. Like I had just slowly just dipped into a pool of water, but that's not what it felt like. It felt like there was no more distance between me and the sky. Like when you go outside, you look up in the sky, you see that distance. You physically can feel the distance between you and the sky. When the Lord's presence came down on me, it felt like there was no separation. I felt like there's no sky. I felt like there was no separation between my Heavenly Father and I. I felt that like there was no separation. All I could feel is how much His overwhelming love is so hard to explain. It's like when you walk by your husband and he says, "I love you," and you say, "I love you" back, you don't get, rushed with every emotional, it's just you say it, but this, from head to toe, I was so numb and so overwhelmingly, like if I could, I would have stayed in that presence in that moment forever. And I could just feel how perfect He loved me, how I didn't have to climb mountains. I didn't have to do anything. He just loved me for me. And I have never in my life ever felt being loved for just who I was. And so, I was so overwhelmed and so in this overwhelming joy and peace and love that, and I thought to myself, well, if I'm feeling like this because I'm praying for my friend, what if I start praying for myself? So I started to pray, well, Lord, bless me too. And the minute I started to pray for myself, for my life, His presence departed. And to this day, my heart's broken and thinking that my selfishness drove what could have been, maybe the experience lasted 5 minutes, but I've always felt that, maybe my selfish intent, instead of, praying for my friend, continue to pray. I should have continued. My selfishness, His pure love came down because He saw that, we're put on this earth for one another, to love thy neighbor as thyself. That's one of the greatest commandments, to love thy neighbor as thyself. And in that moment, I had prayed and I had went into His presence, thinking of my neighbor and praying for my neighbor. And then I was in his presence. His presence had came down in that moment. And what did I do? I started to pray for myself. And he departed gently from me. And of course, you know, so I have so many experiences after that, of course. That wasn't the end of it. But that was just one experience at the age of 16. You're just a teenager. You're just a child. You know, my Heavenly Father loves me so much, and he walks with me every day. And I have so many experiences I'd love to share. But that's just one of them. So, in saying that, I hope you guys enjoyed my Coach Clutch. And I hope you guys enjoyed my little story time. If you have any questions about the bag, just, you know, down below. And I hope you guys have a blessed day. Thank you.